Adam, I think we're ready whenever you are.
All right, the time is now 6 p.m. and I'll call to order our regularly scheduled McMinnville Fire District Board of Directors meeting at 6 p.m. And first up is roll call of directors.
President Garvin,
Here.
Vice President Smith is absent. Secretary Pratt,
Here.
Treasurer Traff,
Here.
and Member Sparrow. We'll watch for him to come on. He'll likely come on late. That's it, sir.
All right, thank you, Chief. Next up is Pledge of Allegiance. If I could call on Secretary Pratt to lead us in that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
for which it stands, one
nation
nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, Secretary Pratt. Next up will be changes to the agenda. Entertain any of those at this time.
I have none.
Hearing and seeing none, that'll move us on to the consent agenda. And we have our minutes from our last meeting on February 25th. Give you a minute to glance over those if you haven't already and entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
Mr. President, I compared my notes and they were perfect. I move that we approve the minutes submitted.
We have a motion by Secretary Pratt and a second.
Second.
Second by Treasurer Traft. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously 3-0. Next up is our first financial report. Thank you, Hunter, if you're in the audience, for that, and Chief for getting it put together. And that's the last page of your packet if you haven't had a chance to look at that. I'll call on Chief and Hunter if they want to share anything in relation to the financial report.
I'm happy to go over it if you guys would like. This is just really the 10,000 foot level cash on hand as of, I believe it was Monday the 6th, 3.7 million. Estimated revenue predominantly from ambulance. There is some other small revenues, but predominantly from ambulance by the end of the year. Fiscal year is 450,000, which takes us to a total of 4.1. Our estimated operating expenditures from today, from Monday to June 30th is just over 1.3 million. That takes us to about 2.8 with our million in contingency, about 1.8 in discretionary funds, if you will, or budgeted funds. I do see that number going down by a few $100,000 with some expenditures that we have up and coming, but I do see us with fairly easily a couple $1 million in cash carryover, 1 million of that held in contingency and the other $1 million as rollover. So we're averaging right now in monthly costs about 790,000 in both personal services and material services on average. So any questions on that?
All right, hearing none. Thank you for that, Chief. That'll take us to public comment. Calling anybody in the audience or on Zoom to raise your hand. I don't see anybody else on Zoom besides myself. Is there anybody in the audience that submitted a comment card this evening?
I see heads shaking no, President.
Okay, thank you. So I'll close public comment, and that takes us to business action items. First up would be item A, set budget committee dates, and calling you for that, Chief.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. So we are we will. And we would like to shoot for setting our budget committee meetings for June 3rd. And then subsequently June 13th and 27th if necessary. That will require us to have our postings done, by the 20th and the 25th, if I remember correctly. One is online, one is paper, the paper. So I would ask that you guys consider those dates, so we can get those, on the budget, get the budget committee, on board and notified. You would have, you as the 5 board of directors that is part of the budget committee, as well as the 5 budget committee members, would have your documentation by the 20th of June. If we stayed on the schedule, approved, if you approve this to stay on the schedule.
Okay, thank you for that, Chief. Treasurer Traff, are you on shift those days, or do you have any availability or conflicts with those dates lined out?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. Secretary Pratt, where are you at with those dates?
June 3rd, I'll be flying, I'll be flying home from Omaha. But I don't know what time I get in, so it's possible I could be here.
Okay,
Otherwise, I can clear the others.
okay. Chief, with that, do you want to tentatively plan on that, and we can have yourself or Michelle check in with other board members between now and Monday, and then just send out an email BCC on solidifying those dates?
Yes, I can do that to answer your question. One other thing to remind everybody is that we have 5 budget committee members also that we need to work around schedules. So it is going to be difficult to find dates that work for absolutely 10 people. So I just ask you to keep that in mind. But yes, President, I will reach out to all the board members, and we will send out an email.
Thank you. And the 13th is, a regular board meeting, so that should be, I would think, work with most of our schedules, but
As well as the 27th also as a board meeting.
okay. So yeah, why don't you just get back to us on that? But I think we do need to give you direction before our next board meeting so it can get noticed properly.
Will do.
And anything else you or Michelle need from us on that?
No, as long as you're, I don't think, unless, there's no action needed. I just wanted input. If you're okay with me at least reaching out to the budget committee members and checking their availability also. And then I could put together one email to all, to the board, and then to all with the number of availabilities for that date.
Sounds great. What time, do you have a time frame there?
We were just gonna keep it at the 1800. Same time. So we'll have 1800 on the 3rd, and then the 13th and 27th were regular board meetings anyways. So we would start, if necessary, we would start with budget committee, and then we would roll into a regular meeting if necessary.
Sounds good. So is it the 3rd, 13th, and 27th, or the 3rd, 13th, and 17th?
27, I'm sorry.
27. Okay.
If I told you 17th, my apologies. It's 27, 4th Thursday.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, the 3rd's not perfect for me, but I can make it work. And I think the main thing is that we just have a quorum between the 10 of us. So as long as we can get, it to work for 7 or 8 people, ideally all 10, but that's going to be a struggle probably for all 3 of those dates.
Does, I think we can do Tuesday. We come into, notification rules that we're working around. Does Tuesday work any better, just for my own edification, the 4th?
Works better for me.
Yeah, it works better for me too, but I can make either one work.
Okay. I'll check with Hunter. He's supposed to be on. I don't see him. Oh, is he waiting in the lobby? I will check with him, and see if the 4th will work for our posting dates. We can try that date also.
Okay, sounds good.
Mr. President, you asked me to add, future board meetings to the agenda.
I did. Thank you for that. Secretary Pratt and Treasurer Trapp, I was thinking, our board meetings are relatively brief and they're not without cost and time commitment from staff and community members and line staff and volunteers as well. So with what we've had on the agenda after we get through this fiscal year, my proposal would be to, in July, cut it down to one meeting a month. We might need to have a work session or a special meeting here and there throughout the year, but it seems like our workload as the policymaking body of this district is leveled out some, and in the lens of cost and the lens of everybody's valuable time in the evenings, I would be open to going down to one meeting if we could agree to that as a board. We don't need to agree to that tonight. Obviously, there's only 3 of the 5 of us here, but I just wanted to put that bug in your ear, and we can table it till next meeting and see what your guys' thoughts are. But I think we should probably land on a decision at the end of our next meeting, one way or the other, just so we can provide notice to the public and let staff know so they can plan properly for any big purchases or any policy direction they're going to need to bring our way.
Sounds like a good idea. Our business has been pretty slow. Been getting through these meetings fast, so I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I thought it was because I was efficient.
That could be it.
What's your feelings on that, chief?
It's a toll on staff, and it is hard to put enough good information, for you every couple weeks. Now, don't get me wrong, early on, it was necessary. I fully agree with that. And there may be a time where we have to call a special meeting, but I think you guys will get better packets, more in-depth packets. If we went to like the later of the Thursdays, because that would give us a month that we can provide you information. But we're here to support you, so whatever works for you.
No, I would agree. Initially, with Chief Lyford retiring and not having a chief in pocket and trying to separate from the city and everything we had to do, it was understandable that we met weekly and then we went bi-weekly, but almost all those spokes in the wheel are there. So as long as it works for you, I think it's a good idea.
All right. Well, thank you for your guys' thoughts on that, and we'll put a pin in it and bring it back when hopefully we can get some insight from Vice President Smith and Director Sparrow. With that, we'll move to other business. We got board committee liaison reports. Anything new on LoSAP from Treasurer Traft?
Nothing new to report.
Thank you. And branding, I don't think Director Sparrow's on yet. I would say the website's looking great, and thanks for everybody, staff, and everybody in the branding committee that got that nice logo done. And it's been sweet to see that start to show up on some apparel, and it's going to be nice when we get everything swapped over. Board information reports. Anything from you, Secretary Pratt or Treasurer Traff?
No, nothing here.
No, nothing here.
All right, that takes us to informational items. We have department reports. First up, we have Local 3099. Is President Godfrey or anybody from the local in the crowd?
They are not, President.
All right. What about from our volunteer association? Is President Goodwin there?
He is not.
All right. So looks like you're back up, Chief. Update on the Triton contract.
We did receive the contract back with our changes. They accepted all changes with one concern. We did reply back with a mitigation of that one concern, and I think we're there. So we'll be sending that back to them here shortly if we haven't already. And I see that being completed, maybe even as early as tomorrow, but definitely, you know, Monday, Tuesday, early next week. So we'll be able to move forward with that, in very short order. The update on VC3, we have our kickoff meeting on the 15th at 9 o'clock. City IT, YCOM IT, and district staff will be part of that. That's when we'll be introduced to our transition team. That team has been set. And we will be starting that transition on the 15th. We also have worked through finding our own internet service to the district, which is part of that transition. We have selected a provider. I'm not going to name it yet tonight, just because I haven't signed the contract yet. Just for your knowledge, we did get 3 quotes. Due to the price, we went with a 3-year term contract. We did not pick the lowest bid. They're very close, don't get me wrong. We did pick the second bid, and there were a lot of technical reasons behind it. One of them being the predominance of their infrastructure is underground, as well as their main infrastructure is only 2 blocks from the station. What the reason that's important from a public safety standpoint is all of our phones and all of our computers and such will be tied to the internet moving forward. So if you lose it due to a ice storm or, you know, a motor vehicle accident taking out a pole or things like that, then we will, it'll cause us problems. One of the second reasons is we're currently using this company at our Station 12. So it kind of helped out there too. And their customer service, any of the questions we asked, their proposal was very in-depth. Just to let you know that it is under the board authorities. It is within my authority to sign the contract. So like I said, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. And of course, I answer any questions if you had any questions, but I haven't signed the contract, so I was just holding off on the name. But if you want it, get it.
We trust you.
For now. Any questions, President Garvin?
Nope, sounds good. Next up, we got update on contract negotiations.
Yep, contract negotiations. We have met internally to prepare for the negotiations. We'll be reaching out to the union in very short order. Well, we've already reached out to the union, but we'll be reaching out to the union in very short order to set up some dates to do some physical negotiations. We're currently putting together our packet as we speak, and our offer. So it's going well internally, and we'll reach out to the union in the next short period of time to set up some dates that work for them and us to start the negotiation process.
Sounds good. Thank you. And we have a website update.
Yeah, Amy, I think, can you make it live? We did launch the website today. We have held off making it public. Scott is going to send out a post tonight on our Facebook to let the public know. But it is actually live. City IT staff have also transitioned their website and directed it to this website. So if someone happened to go to the city's website, clicked on the fire department, it would push them to this website. Couple things to point out for you is that right there, the main meetings and events, that's one of the #1 reasons people come. So if Amy, click on that, and then all events, board meetings, civil service meetings, CPR classes, everything will be live in here. If you click on the top board meeting, Amy, today's down, there you go. When they click on the board meeting, they'll have a link to the packet. or any other supporting documentations that we may, or documentation, excuse me, that we may have. Did it open? We already found a glitch. Just kidding. So that'll be our board packets and of course, any supporting information. If you can go back out of. Yeah. You can't see everything. It's okay. We also have it linked under the board, which if she can get out, that's fine. But we also have, it linked to the board page. All of our current, board meeting minutes, go back, yeah. Thank you. This is your page. All of you are at the bottom. Your pictures are to be coming. We'll be setting those up, for you in the very near future. If they click on the, you don't need to, Amy, but if you click on the upcoming meetings, it will link you straight back to that events page that we were just on. So you can click on all those packets. And then everything else is historical information, meeting minutes, our ordinances, any resolutions that we may have. They will be on there for 1 year. So we're keeping 12 months. And even if we have multiple meetings in a month, we'll keep those, but we're keeping 12 months. And so if we add another month, it'll automatically kick the other one out. Fire marshal's office, again, a lot of the requests we get are for permitting and, driveway, information, burn information, things like that. Civil service under admin has also been updated with the civil service rules. And we'll be posting the agendas, there also, or not the agendas, excuse me, the, meeting minutes. Again, if you click to the upcoming meetings, it'll take them right back to the events page. So we're trying to make it super easy and user friendly for people to find things. That the main buttons on the main page, we kind of asked all of our staff, what are the main reasons you get phone calls? It's ambulance billing questions and fire marshal questions and fire med questions and of course meeting minutes. So it's still a work in progress. Under news, it is linked currently to our Facebook page. So anything that's on our Facebook page is also on the website. It will go to, is it Instagram? Yeah.
It only goes to Facebook.
Right, but it will go to Instagram. That's just the other one. It's just not, the link is giving us problems right now, but so anything we post on either side will go to both. So, we're happy with it. Again, it's always a work in progress. We'll continue to play with it and, accept feedback. There is a mobile version. The mobile version, it has the exact same information. It's a little bit different, just because of size, obviously, but, there is a mobile version also. So everything from the city's shot our way. Special thanks to Chief Darby. He kind of took the bull by the horns and got this up and running. And so we are officially official.
I like it.
Yeah, looks good.
If you guys have or hear, and that goes for anybody in the audience too, if you have or hear of any feedback, please let us know. It's brand new, and we want to make it better. We want to make it more user friendly. And so if you guys are using it, and you run into something, please let us know, because we will be happy to fix it. OFCA conference update. I was at OFCA last week, actually a very good conference. I've been to that conference for many years, but I've never been there. I have been there as a fire chief, but I've never been there as a fire chief of a new fire district. You always try and avoid the vendors. That's your goal when you go to those conferences. But in this case, Chief Darby and I spent a lot of time with the vendors. We discussed fire engine purchases, ambulance purchases. For those of you who don't know, we did have a very small fire in one of our ambulances yesterday, secondary to a wiring issue. We did get it fixed, but we're at 190s and 200,000s on the majority of our ambulances. We do have a path forward, which will be coming across your desks in the form of a budget proposal. I do have a path forward, and I think it's a very doable and cost-effective path. We met with payroll and finance companies to see what else is out there, what else we can work with our systems that we currently use. Is there a better product? We're currently using QuickBooks, as you know, and we're for our finance, and we're currently using GNSA for our payroll. And there are programs out there that do all of that, also to include HR stuff and things like that. So it's not something we're tackling today just because of our bandwidth, but have already reached out, and in fact, I have an email right now. We will be making that a priority once we get a couple other things off the ground. We did talk to other organizations about staffing. Secretary Pratt, I know that you and I had a conversation. Other alternatives to staffing, how can we better staff? What do other organizations do of our like size with our like budget and things like that? So we got a lot of things that we brought back and things that Chief Hannafin and I will be discussing and have discussed, moving forward to continue to progress the organization for response time standards, coverage, deployment, and things like that. So it was a good conference. I already spoke of the internet and the phone switch over. And that, which was not on there, it's an addition. And that's what I have, unless there's questions for me.
Any questions for Chief?
Nope.
Hearing none, that'll take us to correspondence. Anybody get any correspondence over the last couple of weeks?
Nothing.
No, sir.
I did get one email relating to our flag process, and talked with Chief about that. So that's under review. So and I'll respond to that community member that sent that email here in the next day or two.
What flag process are you speaking of?
Just like when we're doing honors for somebody that's passed away and asked for a flag to be flown from the ladder truck or something like that.
Okay, okay.
Informational items. I don't have anything to report. Does anybody else? Hearing none. Oh,
For your pictures, if you guys can wear your blue polos, we'll work it out times that work for you. We're trying to find a day when most of you will be here. If you could wear your blue polos, that will kind of match the blue uniforms of the pictures that we took.
We wait till after summer when I was on my winter weight.
He does a phenomenal job photoshopping, trust me, I already used it.
sounds good. If there's nothing else on informational items, I will adjourn our regular session at 6:28 p.m. Our next meeting will be Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. After adjournment, we will go directly into executive session, and we will not be coming back to regular session from there. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.